in. I figure y'all need something to do as we, of course, I've been watching basketball most of the morning, while I'm multitasking at work. But I also know that we need to talk about these past 3 days. I got our girl Bree on the line as well. So we
Hi,
going
everybody.
the birthday girl. Everybody come in and wish Miss Bree a happy birthday. So
Thank you.
she is on the last day of the Pisces season. I
Yes,
think.
I am.
Girl, listen, if you were born another day, you would have been an Aries. Could be a totally different personality type.
I keep getting told like I'm like the borderline,
You're on the
I
cusp.
guess. On the cut, there we go, on the cusp. So I guess I could be both, but
Hmm.
I'm a Pisces. I'm more of a sensitive one. So, but I
Yes.
have Aries tendencies, depending.
Hmm.
Depends.
Yeah, so I figure you guys would y'all didn't want to wait, so I said why not? Since we don't have 2 days of episodes, let's go ahead and we're gonna talk about these last 3 days. It shouldn't be that long since it is 3 days. Who knows? We'll see. And yeah, we're gonna actually spend Bree's birthday talking about the soaps.
And
So
I'm good with that.
yes. And you know what? Actually, there is a lot of birthdays of some of the actors coming up. Eric Braeden has a birthday coming up. Melody Thomas. Scott has a birthday coming up. Who else? Who else? Who else? Um, Jacqueline McInnes Woods got a birthday coming up. It's a lot of
Yeah.
Aries coming up.
Yeah, a lot of Aries. I think as far as the Pisces, I know that Amina Heinel, she just recently had a birthday
On the 17th, yep.
on the 17th, and I'm trying to think who else. There's someone else from Bold.
Oh,
Not Bold.
Carla Mosley just had a birthday too.
Yep.
Yeah, from Beyond the Gates. Um, who else? Is somebody else that just come to mind? And then Tanner Novlin, he's an Aries too, so his birthday is coming up as well.
Yeah. So we got great birthdays. This birthday season's coming up. When is your birthday, T?
The end of next month.
B. But you're
Hmm.
a Taurus.
Absolutely.
Okay. She's like, I'm not claiming Aries.
Oh my God. So yeah, you know what? Let's have a little bit of fun because I see a lot of my regulars in here. And drop if you are. I know some people, not into that type of thing, but drop your sign in the chat. Let's see who's who. Drop your sign in the chat, whether you're Cancer, a Sag, a Libra, Gemini, Scorpio, whatever. Let's see what comes up in the chat. Oh, Tamara Tooney also just had a birthday too.
Oh, Miss Anita Dupree.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
More
so there
birthday.
was a lot of February birthdays as well because we had Sharon Case, Josh Morrow, and Mark Grossman were all in the same week. I think Mark is February 3rd, and then the 9th and the 10th was Sharon Case and Josh Morrow.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
we got quite a few.
Mm-hmm. Cheryl is a Sag, like my daughter. Jenny, you one of us? All right, girl.
My son is a Sagittarius, actually. December 2nd. Yeah, I think it is a Sagittarius.
Cheryl. Hey, Melissa was March 10th. Happy belated birthday.
Happy belated.
Oh, Blackpink Me. Her birthday was March 2nd. Happy belated birthday.
Yes, happy belated.
Cynthia is an Aquarius on the cusp. Yeah, you just crossed over. You just crossed over into Aqualand. Angela is an Aries. TA is a Capricorn. Yeah, I have a whole aunts and my older sister, Caps. Aquarius, more Pisces, Indigo Blue. Yes, look at you guys. All right. I kind of want, we jumped on that subject because we was talking about Bree's birthday today. So, yes, this is Miss Lady on the phone with us today, and it's well, at least it's in the middle of the week, but you got plans this weekend. I know you went out
Huh?
yesterday.
Yeah, possibly. I'm trying to do something different this go around, and just kind of go into the flow, not be super planned. So I think so. There was a couple of people who was talking about trying to do something, so I might just go around. But thank you all for the birthday wishes. It's very sweet of you. Thank you.
We got Sammy, who's a Scorpio. Yeah, my significant other is a Scorpio. Taurus, Diane, one of us. Okay. Monique is a Virgo in the house. All right, Monique. My mom is a
That's
Virgo.
most of my family. There's only 3 Pisces. I'm one of them, but most of my family is born in September.
Yeah, my mom's in September as well. She's a a Virgo.
Mm-hmm.
Angela is saying that you are too loud. I don't know why, but don't know if you know your phone. Why you sound so loud? I don't know, girl. Maybe adjust your volume. Not you, Angela. Can you adjust your volume? Maybe that's what it is. Janet is a Gemini. Bree, you still there? Uh-oh. Did we lose Bree?
I'm
Valerie.
right here.
Oh, okay. You must have been muted or something.
I was trying to adjust the volume, see if that might help.
Okay.
Hopefully, this is a little bit better, y'all.
All right. Leo is in the house. A Gemini is in the house. Okay, y'all representing up in here. Cool. I haven't seen any Libras. And I haven't seen any.
Yos.
Yeah, there's one right there. I think the only one that we really haven't seen is a Libra.
Oh.
I guess the Libras be doing their own. My son is a Libra. They're usually sleeping. So, and my brother-in-law is the same way. They love to get their sleep. They rest on, so. All right, enough of that stuff. We're going to keep it going. Welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk. We're going to do this recap of this short week. We had 3 episodes: Beyond the Gates, Bold and the Beautiful, and The Young and the Restless. And I guess we got a few things to talk about. I know one thing: Bold and the Beautiful knocked it out the park. It was crazy insane this week. You're talking about shock value. Shock value.
Yes, I got to give it to Jacqueline. She owned that whole episode. That was her episode. I don't think I can't remember anyone else who had lines besides her and Annika, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just some star of the week in that episode there, right there. Delmonica, yes, happy belated birthday to you. She says she's a Pisces, February 22nd. All right. Okay, so normally if you are new here, we usually have our show on Friday nights. Last night, I had a wonderful time. We went to a rooftop bar last Friday night. That was the first warmest day we've had in months. It got up to in the 70s, so we took advantage of the evening. That's why Jay and I went on earlier last Friday. And then this week, because we had a short week with the preemption of the NC2A college tournament, then of course I said, you know what, let's just go ahead and get you guys on a call, and we don't have to wait till Friday night. But normally we are on Friday nights, 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, where we talk about all 3 soaps. We also have 5 other segments: Flip the Script, Who's Taking a Seat, Star of the Week, Pickle of the Week, and the Simp Olympics. Yes. All right. So without any further ado, because we did talk for a good 15 minutes, let's go ahead and jump into Y&R. We had a couple of things going on. The ladies had been found. Chance was doing his investigation. We had that whole thing with Summer and Kyle and Claire. This thing with Alan, yeah.
Slash Martin.
Slash Martin. Yeah. And then this little rendezvous, well, we had a little sexy scene, surprisingly, and I actually enjoyed it, even though it was kind of short to me, but I
I
enjoyed
did too.
I enjoyed the
Yes.
music composition. When
Thank you.
girl, I was like, I actually said, "Hey Siri, what's the name of that song?" And obviously, it must be one of their own songs because it couldn't find it nowhere.
Hmm.
But the music composition, the moment, and remember, I really wasn't feeling Chelsea and Adam. But when they had the little dinner thing, the mood was set. There was a little bit of hesitation. So they were growing the tension between those two. The music that they had in the background. And then the scene where, it was almost like the whole Sharon scene a little bit. He didn't put her on the wall, but he slammed on that bed.
Yes, and then he's on his back, she's on him, and it was just very sexy, very tasteful. See, that's what we like to see. This is a good direction for Y&R going into 2025.
Yeah, yeah. I knew Adam could bring that kind of heat. I didn't know if I mean we saw them too in Baltimore. It was okay, but I think this
Uh-huh.
scene was a lot better than the one in Baltimore.
Oh yeah, without question. So I was like, if we're getting more of this, I can kind of root for Chelsea and Adam a little bit, just a little bit though.
Yeah, I just got to say the music, the whole lighting, everything was great. They did a good job with that because I was like, okay, I kind of moved closer to the screen. I'm like, all right, I see y'all. Finally, we get some steaminess on Y&R because we haven't had it in a while.
Was that the only love scene for this year?
That's the only one I can think of. I mean, we kind of had a little bit of something when Claire pushed Kyle on the bed. Remember? When she first
Oh,
slept with him, she lost her V card.
that was this. Oh yeah, that was this year. And then we had a little something with Nate and Audra. Yeah, but nothing like this. Nothing like Adam and Chelsea. So this is okay. I mean, we're 3 months in. It's all right.
Did you see Cheryl Hines' comment? She said they taking notes from Beyond the Gates.
They sure are with the music, turning it up a notch. I see what they were doing. They know exactly what they're competing with. Danny has had more love scenes than Y&R has had love scenes.
I know, right? So I gotta, if I had to grade it, I would give it a B plus. The only reason I'm not giving it a solid A because I wanted it to be a little bit longer.
I think that's fair. I think a B plus, that's still passing. It's more than passing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's in the right direction. It's still an honor roll.
Yep. Now, here's the thing, because let's talk about, I guess we'll see where they go from here. Obviously, Chelsea and Adam back together, so we're going to move on for that one. But I
Hmm.
was really rooting for Damian and Lily, but Lily getting on my nerves.
I'm not rooting for them anymore. It's only because she went ahead and did a whole investigation about him for no reason.
Yeah, and she's still picking. She was like, it's got to be more than meet the eye. And I'm thinking to myself, y'all, Nate, well, not them, but Devon was on board. But Nate and Amy brought them into Genoa City. They didn't come looking for them. And that's what Damien keeps trying to tell them, like, listen, y'all created a fake job to get me in town. Now all of a sudden, y'all think I'm a threat.
And then you have Devon still with a whole attitude, and I'm like, sir, you of all people, this
Mm-hmm.
is a new situation. You had two daddies.
Yep.
Like this is the same, literally the same scenario. Well, not the same scenario, but you get what I mean.
Right. I got you.
Like
Yeah.
the one person who could probably identify more with Damien would be Devon.
I mean, it's just Lily is doing too much. Now, obviously, I'm assuming they're going to eventually gravitate them two together because Damien is really crushing hard on Lily. But I would be giving her the side eye because, I mean, it's like you digging all into my business. You went and told Victor and opened your big old mouth. Now, Victor is on his radar. And then that brings on this whole thing with that, what's that name? What's the name of that whole thing? Not what's
Uh,
oh, that
what
company
is
that
that?
he works for.
The not. Why do I want to say Saxoles? It's not that.
Mm-mm. And it's sound is it not Monte Cristo? It's something. It's a name, and if you guys know in the chat, I forgot the name. Aristotle. Something Aristotle. Aristotle Dumas. Thank you, Cheryl.
Dumas. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's right.
Aristotle Dumas. Right.
They love complicated names, especially for companies. My goodness, keep it simple and sweet, please.
Yeah, because the previews for next week got Victor talking about he has had an ongoing thing with Aristotle Dumas. And the thing is, if it wasn't for Lily going over there poking the bear and waking up everything, now Victor is head first into this whole thing.
Yeah, and I'm like, girl, you haven't had a man in a minute. Like, he's fine. He's intentional. He's making this point very clear. There's no guesswork. And he's very good looking. And you just have to mess it up. You just had to. You could have went to your brother. You guys could have kept it in the family, but you just have to go outskirts like you always do.
Yeah, and my thing is, I kind of wish they had a rewrote it all because, or had a different storyline on bringing those two together instead of her making him look like a threat, digging all in his business. Just slowly gravitate the two together somehow, organically. Okay,
And
that's
it's
my cousin's brother who I'm not related to.
right. And Devon can relate to him, but so can Lily because Neil's not her biological father, is actually um, Malcolm. She could definitely identify with what Damon could be going through. They could have some sort of bonding. I just wish he didn't have to
Right.
go this route, you
Right.
know?
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. Lily is still Lily. She
Mm-hmm.
ain't learned nothing yet.
Yep. So Lily gonna do Lily, and I guess they want to make it so complicated. We'll see. Cause I was excited about the fact that they was gonna put them two together.
I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was questioning this myself. Do you feel that Damien's being genuine with Nate about, trying to have a relationship with his brother?
I mean, it seems so. I mean, why? You think it's just too quick of a turn?
This is the part where I feel he's up to something because he was very stern about how he wants to move. And then it seems like when he saw that Lily was in the room, all of a sudden now he needed his brother and wants him to go with him. I'm wondering if that was just more so to get more brownie points from Lily. But I don't know, something just tells me it wasn't all that genuine. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but it
Mm-hmm.
didn't come off like he really wanted to have that connection with his brother.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that was the reason why he originally went to start talking to Amy because of Lily. Otherwise, he was hard pressed on having nothing to do with her.
Exactly.
Now, is that to say that because they had an interaction now, because I mean, it's still his mom, and somewhere deep down inside of him, there's still a connection, even though he was pissed. Now, she did kind of break the ice with him by saying, hey, while you thought I was off not paying attention to your father, I was working two jobs because we didn't have any insurance money.
Mm.
So he kind of got like, okay, when I look at it like that, then, maybe I need to reconsider what I saw as a kid. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I'm so, I don't want to go in too deep to that, but like, I'm still lost on just the fact that, so he ran away when he was a teenager.
Girl, the
I'm,
timeline is jacked up because she said that she haven't seen him. She saw him a few years ago. Remember when she first came on to talk to
yeah,
Nate, and then all of a sudden you haven't seen him. He left home since he was 16, and he ain't seen his mom since. A few years and almost 2 decades is two different things.
right. And I'm like, you just recently decided to look for him?
Right.
You didn't want to look for him within the 20 years. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Like that is just,
Bizarre.
yeah, yeah, Josh Griffin, please clean that up because that made absolutely no
Yeah,
sense.
because my thing is, not no soap world and real world is two different worlds. But I mean, if my 16, 17-year-old son take off, I'm going to try to figure out where he at.
Yeah, it's just a common sense thing. No, I would never let it wouldn't even be like 2 weeks or 2 days where I don't hear from my child,
Exactly.
let alone
Exactly.
20 years.
Right.
That was wild.
Yeah, that's weird to me. But, we'll see. Obviously, they made these changes with bringing Damian and Holden on for a particular reason. And I'm okay with that, I guess. I don't know. It's up for debate.
I mean, I love that Holden's on, and apparently Audra likes it a little bit too.
So, do you think that they're going to create a triangle between her, Nate, and Holden?
I honestly feel it's already
Yeah,
getting in
but she don't
formation.
like him. I mean, she's yes keeping friendships, but they got kind of warm when they was talking about the past.
I think she's trying to put a guard up
Hmm.
because of Nate, but I don't think that takes away the fact that she's still attracted to this man. And she is, because with Audra, she's done with something. She's just not going to entertain it at all. She's going to lunches. She's entertaining text messages, phone calls. And she told that big old lie saying, like, I'm trying to keep the open communication with Holden so you can get details about your brother. I'm like, Damian knows how to call Nate. Nate knows how to call Damian. And plus, Lily's already on the job passing information to Victor. So there's enough people getting information about Damian.
Do
There's
you think?
nothing
Oh, go ahead. I'm
that,
sorry.
I was going to say, there's nothing that Audra can add on to that. She wants to have that connection with Holden still.
So, do you think? I'm wondering if this is the direction that they're going into, where Nathan and Damien's out of town in Chicago for whatever reason, which of course leaves Holden and Audra in town. Could, while they're away, something could slip up and happen? You think that's the direction that they're going?
I wouldn't put it past the writers to go that route. Maybe it might be a little too soon. I
Mm-hmm.
think it would have to be, I don't know, the way that they're meeting up now, they already kind of touched on the fact that, it could lead to something where she's like drinking too much or whatever. I could see that happening, but I think if they were to really break up Nate and Audra, it's going to be something big. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's sleeping with Holden at Nate's place or something.
Okay.
Um, yeah, like, plus
Okay.
Nathan's already caught them, so I think the next time that they get into something, Nate's going to catch them.
Okay, so Reed in the comment section says, I feel like Audra knows how to control herself in this regard. First time she had a serious relationship since Noah, not even counting Tucker. So I guess what Reed is saying is that maybe she don't want to mess this up. Because they look like they're trying to change her persona than
Hmm.
than what she was a year or so ago. You know what I mean? What do you think?
I mean, she wants to go from a mattress to a housewife, and there's nothing wrong with that. Will it stick? Nope. Because it's
She
still
said nope.
Audra.
Will it
And
stick?
plus,
Nope.
Holden, nope. And plus, Holden is a fine-looking man. Like she knew exactly what she was getting into when she was sleeping with him in L.A. She was good with it. It's just it makes things more uncomfortable for her because Nate is in town. But whenever she has separate scenes with her and Holden, she's a good. And she has to throw things off by saying like, well, I'm glad that you're not thinking about me. I'm glad that you're doing this without me. Like,
Mhm.
like if she was good, she wouldn't have to put those disclaimers, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, they did Kim test Holden with Claire.
Yeah, I saw that.
What did you think about that? Are you feeling that or not really?
I need to see it more. I need to see another scene.
Okay.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I just need to see another scene. People were saying like put Sally with Holden, and I'm like, I can
Why?
kind of see that.
You
Look, she
kind of
don't need
see
another
it?
man anyway.
Girl, she need to carry her butt back to LA. That's what she need to do.
That is true. We're all hoping for that. But in the meantime, especially since we see where Billy is drifting off to, she's gonna need a new man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that too. But yeah, I have a feeling that those two are gonna slip up at some point. Because there it looked like we're in the process of a lot of reshuffling going on. So obviously we have Adam and Chelsea back together, right? They look like they're trying to test the waters with Holden and Audra. Then we got this situation, speaking of Sally, with now Phyllis coming back because Billy looked like he would do anything to save Phyllis, be there for Phyllis and everything else, and that's not sitting well with Sally.
Yeah, the look that she gave at the house while as he was telling the story, she's like, "Oh man," the way that she looked, she's like, "I'm gonna be stuck in that hotel forever," because she didn't put all that work and that effort decorating his home. She probably thought later down the line she'll move in, but now you got Phyllis in the mix. She's like, "I'm gonna be stuck at that hotel forever."
I guess, girl. I don't know. I see a couple of people in the chat talking about them making a way for Sally to get back with Nick. I'm not even interested in it. Why do we need to go back to that?
Nick,
I would be okay with Sharon and Nick. I
not
know.
Nick.
I mean, Sharon, why not? I mean, at this point, old as they are, and no, that's not too old, but at some point, the swapping has to stop. I mean, they did enough of that with Victor and Nikki, and they're just like, you know what, let's just put them two together and just let them stay together at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Nick and Sharon have a classic relationship since, what, a good 25 years or so off and on? Put them two back together. They got kids and stuff. Let's just. I mean, who else is he gonna be with? He didn't been with everybody else on the show.
Except Lily.
Yeah, but they're pushing her toward Damian. So
Yeah. I personally, I always thought that Phyllis and Nick were the sexier, exciting pair. I don't know. They just had, especially when they used to have like those hot scenes together. I love those two together.
that's because
Um,
Phyllis is just spicy.
yes. And would I want Nick and Sharon to be together? I don't know. And the way that Nick was at the coffee shop, it didn't seem like he was really interested in going that direction anyway.
Well, the thing is,
Um,
I just think this is just a hesitation move. I mean, because he said he thought about it. Only thing is he concerned whether or not he would hurt her again. But with who? Phyllis is gravitating toward Billy right now.
right. There's, I mean, I agree with you. Like at this stage, at this point, their kids are grown. He loves putting his cape on for her. She
Right.
loves being a damsel in distress. So they might as well just be together.
Nick spent the better of the last 8, almost 9 months doing everything possible for Sharon, even going up against the people who was pissed off at her because of the actions that she took with dumping Heather's body. He was still talking about, well, she wasn't in her right mind. Okay, you know what? Then you take care of her from this point forward. Adam
I
has moved
agree.
on. Adam is with Chelsea. He ain't thinking about Sharon. Chance is still trying to bark up Summer's tree. Billy is moving, look like he's gravitating toward Phyllis. So you might as well just say, you know what, these two are a classic couple. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, they've already hurt each other back and forth, but he's like you said, he's been putting his cape on, so it's like he's always quick to defend that woman more
Mm-hmm.
so over Phyllis than
Yep.
anything.
Exactly.
So, and anytime Sharon calls, he's always right there to answer. So it's like you want this woman. So I don't know what the hesitation is for. You guys have hurt each other in more ways than we can explain. So y'all might as well just get together unless he's looking for something new. They always put a new woman with Nick though.
Right.
So if they do casting, you know, I can see them doing that. Or maybe later down the line they might put him with Audra. There's just no telling.
Exactly. Well, you'll never know. But I mean, and like I saw somebody was saying that possibly they might put him back with Sally. For what?
I have so many thoughts on that.
I mean, I just think she's better suited on Bold.
Yeah,
And no shade to
and
Courtney Hope because she gonna go where the job work or the work is. But it's just that Young and the Restless are not giving her, besides the Ava baby storyline that she got the Emmy for. What else? What is she doing? Just floating around town from dude to dude and job to job.
and staying at the same hotel. Well, she went from hotel to hotel too.
Right.
Um, I agree with that. She's a whole fashion designer. Bold is supposed to be about fashion designer,
Mm-hmm.
so they definitely need her over there. So I agree with that. Maybe if they listen to the podcast, we know y'all listen. We do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just take this note, the suggestion. I mean, it's just a studio away. Just send her over to Bold. I think that would be further interesting. Could you imagine Sally and Hope cooking up something to go against the Foresters?
I think that would have been great.
See,
Absolutely. And she become the lead designer for Hope for the Future, which changes all of the frou-frou looking dresses. I mean, and then they do a fashion show to do a breakout thing, the new Hope 2.0 or whatever. Something
exactly.
using Sally's designs to stick it to Steffy because Sally and Steffy has always been at odds too.
Exactly. Like, see how we're helping them write storylines. We need our producers credit, but this please take the suggestions over at Bold. Whoever's listening from over there.
I mean, it would be great.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got to talk about because we kind of mix Phyllis and Sharon up with the Billy and Nick situation. We also have this whole thing with Summer and Kyle, and I'm thinking to myself, Kyle, I get it. Okay? Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
So when Claire wasn't able to do lunch with him, and Summer is like, well, and you can tell by the look in her eyes that she wanted to make this a date. So she'll have some ammunition to come back and say something or whatever. This had nothing to
Yeah.
do with Harrison. Should Kyle have turned her down? If I'm dating your cousin and I know your cousin is trying to get back with me, would I take a lunch date with said cousin even though it has nothing to do with the kid that we're raising?
I'm going to say yes. I
So,
don't think there's nothing wrong with it, simply because they do share a child together. I think it probably would have been a more safer bet if they actually brought Harrison over to the lunch. If they picked him up from school early and they just had like a family thing. But if he's completely moved on with Claire, no matter what woman he's with, it shouldn't faze him. So nothing that Summer could do or try to seduce him shouldn't really faze him. So he's probably thinking it's just Summer being Summer, but he's committed to the woman he's committed to. So I don't think it's wrong. He can't really isolate himself from the mother of his child.
this ain't a meeting about, okay, because I mean, it's one thing if you're meeting with the kid. I mean, meeting about the kid, but going on a lunch date, what are we talking about?
But here's the thing, though. This is the same thing that we just talked about with Nick and Sharon. This is exactly what they do.
But neither one
Same
of
way.
them are in a relationship. Kyle is. You,
Um,
Nick and Sharon are two single people.
but even when Sharon was married to, like, say, with Ray, for example, Sharon and Nick were still having lunches, and take Jack and Nikki, they're friends, but they're married to other people, but they'll have their private meetings and their lunches, and he'll be her Uber driver and her gopher
And
and
that's
everything.
one reason why Victor is trying to destroy his company right now, because is you have, and that's why what's her name, Diane was pissed off because you risking your life for your ex.
Yeah, I just don't think, especially like if it was like a private lunch, like if they were like at the Abbott house by themselves, then that wouldn't be okay. But they're at a public place. They obviously ran into her family. So, like, if he was going to be guilty of something, I can see something being done in private versus something in public.
Okay,
That's just me.
let me ask the chat. So, chat, do you think, even they're not having any discussion about the child or anything like that, and Summer is asking to take him to lunch? Do you think that it would be something that's okay, or is it okay or not okay? So drop in the chat not okay, or drop in the chat if you think it is okay. So I want to see what the thoughts are, because Belinda is like absolutely 100% no, 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 no. So let me see what they would say. I'm trying to give it a moment because I know sometimes there's a little bit of a lag time between the time I put a question out there and people responding. So, okay, so Cynthia said okay. Belinda says no, no, no. Let's see what else. We got 1 and 1 so far. Well, we'll keep it no. Okay, Ebony says no. Kyle, the one we're not talking about Kyle and Audra. Jasmine says no. No for Cece. Cece said heck no. If it's not about the kids, no. Dewan says no. And I mean even Jack picked up on the fact last week that he feel that Summer was trying to get back with Kyle. Her
Okay.
intent. That's the thing, because it'd be different if hey, we need to discuss what we're gonna do. Like, even though I think she should have told Kyle and not break up the date, because both of them know that girl broke up that date talking about let's go upstairs and tell tell Harrison about mom being missing so the school won't tell him. Okay, but you did that purposely to break up that date, which is why Claire said, well, we still had a good night after you left. And her face was priceless. Oh, you did? Yeah, we did. Kyle has to pick up on the fact that this girl is really trying to come between the two of them.
The thing is, he knows that. He even brings it up, like, are you comfortable with me dating Claire? He knows because he's been dealing with Summer for years. But once again, like you brought up, the point is intent. He understands her intent, same way he understands his intent is to be solely for Claire. So if it's to the point where she's influencing this man's actions to where he's, up to no good, then I would say, then no, they don't need to be in the same room together or have lunch together or anything outside of Harrison. But eventually these guys have to be amicable and have to communicate. And they're still technically friends.
Bree, I'm not saying cut off communication altogether, but there's a set of boundaries at some point, where if you're in a new relationship and your ex, knowing, even if you have kids with that ex or y'all adopted, well, in this case, this is her adopted son, you communicating and having conversation about the child, that's one thing. But let me take you out to lunch instead. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I mean, I got you. The only other thing I was going to say is like maybe Billy and Victoria, especially since they've always had other partners and they always still were amicable, and they would talk about the kids and also talk about the relationships too. They would always have those dinner meetings at restaurants in a public setting. That's just me. I just think that in a soap realm, I feel like that's going to be kind of hard for him to do, and it completely ignore Summer's advances, even though we know the direction is going to be them getting back together anyway.
Yeah.
I just want them to speed up the process.
Yeah. Well, I just wish Claire would speak up. Now, she don't have to go psycho on the situation, but her trying to play nice in this situation ain't gaining any ground, because Kyle, again, let's switch it off of that whole subject. But if Kyle be like, well, Claire's going to be okay with it, so I'm going to go with it. At some point, you got to be like, look, you're going to have to set some boundaries with this woman. Y'all not in a marriage anymore. He was about to let your mama fry. She was about to let your mama stay in jail. And at the same time, I understand your conversations with, dealing with Harrison and stuff like that, but you can clearly see she's purposely doing things. It's okay, so like you were saying with your other situation, like you was talking about Billy and Victoria. Nobody was trying to get back with nobody. They were just saying, hey, having a great conversation. This girl is purposely trying to sabotage the relationship. And at some point, boundaries got to be set. And one of the two of them, if Kyle don't say anything, she's going to have to say something like, look, you do realize your ex wants you back.
I think they've said this, though. They've said this even after when they broke the news to Harrison, because even Harrison is well aware of that. But he also wants his parents back together, too.
Yeah.
But once again, it comes down to just the intent. If he is faithful to his woman, no matter what woman throws himself at him, it shouldn't matter. There has to be some sort of like trust level too. But we also see a little bit of the cracks because it creates some insecurity with Claire too. But also it kind of shows her inexperience in relationships and how to deal with things. Otherwise, she would have spoke up if she had a little bit more experience. But it's also to the point where you don't get with your family members' exes either. There's other men that she could have been with. But look, this is what she wanted. This is what kind of comes with it.
What other men? Who are you talking about? Claire?
Yes.
Before Holden, who else was there?
Any man.
Which one? We're talking about on the show. We ain't talking about random people that we don't know exist. Who on the show would have been available for her?
Technically speaking, Chance would have been available because Summer's not thinking about it.
Like when she started crushing on Kyle, Chance and Summer was still in their relationship, which was the end of last year. I
mean, I don't know. She knew the risk of getting with her cousin's ex. Is all I'm saying.
Man, that man needs to set some boundaries. I get it. He's a free man. He's single. Who is that? Nate done been with two sisters already. Victoria and Abby. So, I guess it happens. But anyway, I don't know. I don't really want Summer back in this triangle. I just wish that they would have figured out a way to make this work with Chance.
I think that's done. That's done and over with.
Yeah, that's why I say I wish they would have figured out a way to make that work with Chance. But yeah, and it looked like he's trying to hold out, but Summer is like, nope. And I don't even know why she want Kyle back so bad.
Maybe I was going to say the status, and I'm like, Chance is a chancellor, so can't be that.
Right.
Maybe it's just a possession thing, kind of like her mom. Her mom has a bit of like a possession you know, personality. She has to have control over certain things, and this is kind of like mirroring what she was doing with when Kyle was with Lola too,
Yeah. The
and then
other,
she ultimately won.
yeah, the other thing is, even with the situation with her mama, Billy, as much as we want Sally over there, Sally's in a relationship with Billy. And so at
Mm-hmm.
some point, he needs to set some boundaries with Phyllis. If he's not going to cross, even though it looks like they're going to probably put them two together, something's going to happen. But if he truly is at this point Team Sally, then he's going to have to be like, look, we're business partners, but that's it. Just can't keep showing up at my house anytime. You need to talk. Let's meet at the restaurant or society, or at the new office or whatever. Both of them are trying to impede on existing relationships, but that's soap world for you. So
Oh yeah, and Belinda, I know. She said that Summer's after Kyle and Summer's forcing herself on Kyle. It's going to be clear and blatant, but it's
mm-hmm.
got to be what Kyle decides to do next. If he's focusing on his relationship, there's nothing no woman can do to try to break that up unless he allows that. And Medora, I think that you might be right. She said that Summer will try to set up Holden and Claire. I can see that happening.
Yeah, I don't know. That I really truly think they're gonna try to put him in this whole thing with Audra. I mean, it's possible, but that's the direction that it looked like it's going. That them two, they getting real comfortable.
Yeah, it's a lot of shuffling and a lot of everything
Mm-hmm.
now.
And then, last but not least, before we move on to Bo, because I know everybody want to talk about Bo,
Mm-hmm.
is this thing with Alan and slash Martin and Tracy. I
Oh,
I hate that. Man.
this breaks my heart. Tracy been through it, through the wrangle all the last year with her sister, her brother breaking his sobriety, her sister going through DIY, not DIY, DDI,
Mm-hmm.
and everything that just went on with Alan and Martin, and she finally had herself a man, some peace, some happiness. This man was doting on her, excited, to quit his whole job to go be with her. We were rooting for her,
Girl, I think
only
they
for it to be
pivoted.
Martin.
I think they pivoted. I honestly believe originally they wrote this to have Ian Ward behind it. Why did you give us a whole scene with Ian Ward waking up in the ambulance when he was presumed deceased? I honestly think they said, you know what? Let's just switch this around. We know Alan has a history. Because remember, we hadn't seen Alan in some weeks now. And
Right.
then all of a sudden, when they put this whole thing together with Sharon and Phyllis being locked up in that mental institution, everybody was thinking that it was other people. I think some of you guys thought it was Michael or Lucy and all this stuff, and only to find out that they want to throw Alan slash Martin in the mix. I'm like, why did y'all do that? Plus, this girl, she's happier than she's been in a long time. She got a man, somebody in her life. Her daughter's gone. Yes, she got her brother and her siblings, but, and then y'all do this.
Yeah. I was so sad. I'm like, Tracy. And it makes me fear for Tracy because I don't want him to do anything to her. But this does seem like a bit of a pivot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed in the writing when Nick and Billy were talking, he said, I don't know if it was this week or last week, Nick said that Ian was cremated.
Right. So, but who did they cremate? Because his
Exactly.
eyes popped open in that ambulance.
Right. So I'm wondering if they're going to keep that in their back pocket for like another sweeps, possibly. And it also makes me wonder if even Jordan's unalive too. But I just honestly don't mind it being Martin and yeah, it's Martin. I don't mind it being Martin because, it created a lot of fan suspicion,
Mm-hmm.
especially after what happened with that balcony. I mean, they made him a twin for a reason, so they can do this little twist here and, break our hearts as well as Tracy's heart when it comes to this. But I remember there were scenes where Martin specifically said to Alan that he wanted to try to prove himself. So to have both Sharon and Phyllis in the psychiatric unit, and it almost felt like he was trying to take care of them with care and at first and trying to get them to get along. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of see where he thought he was trying to do a real therapy session.
Mm-hmm.
But this was just out of left field for there to be gas. So he was actually intentionally trying to unalive these women. I'm like, goodness gracious.
Right.
This was a weird twist. It's a weird pivot, but I don't mind it. I just wish there was stuff leading more up to it
Right.
for me to get it.
Yeah, because they just brought him out of nowhere, and it's like we happened to just see him after he ran off and got the engagement ring. He's on the Overlook or the Outlook or whatever they call that place, and the phone goes off, and he's watching Sharon and Phyllis, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah,
No, 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 that they're doing this to Tracy. This is crazy.
we don't like this.
No.
We're very upset for Tracy right now.
And she can see the red flags because he got real defensive. What are you always asking about my, I mean, what do you care? And she was like, she looking at him like, hold on now. Slow your roll. And then he was like, well, this whole scam thing is just making me irritated. And then the dude said, let's go off to Paris to pick out a venue. And then he turned around and take a trip and go off by himself.
Oh, this was such a mess.
That's
But
a red flag and a half.
the Soapies, we knew. We knew since last year something was not right, especially since he was acting brand new to the GCAC and
Mm-hmm.
the Abbott Mansion, where he was like, oh, wow, I've never seen this before. This is so great. And I'm like, Ashley introduced you to both places.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, he stayed at the hotel. At least Alan did. So that was a dead giveaway right there. So we knew.
Dead giveaway.
Yeah, pun intended. But we knew that eventually this was going to come back up. So I guess, might as well get it out the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate it's at Tracy's expense, but still, we all knew it was Martin.
Yeah. It sucks, girl. Oh, I hate that for her. I hate that for her.
Yeah, Cheryl Hines said Tracy might be in danger. Yes, that's unfortunate. I'm like, don't hurt my Tracy. She's been through it enough with her siblings and her nephew too. I'm like, oh goodness gracious.
Right, girl. Oh, anyway. And I think that's all that we really had for this week in those 3 days. It was enough, but yeah, poor Tracy. What can I say?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So I see a bunch of folks asking me about the Y&R recaps. I'm going to drop a link in the chat where you can go and watch Y&R recaps on a daily basis. So there you go. All right. We have to now talk about The Bold and how many people in the chat, Bree?
Let's see. We got almost 100 people in the chat. We got 91.
Okay. Yeah, everybody coming up in here. Every time you say bold and the beautiful, then 1,000 people show up.
It's like all the heat. It's like they're listening in the background and like, oh, bold. Okay, let me jump in the chat.
Right. Oh, they're talking about bold, and even I guess sometimes I think that YouTube hear that as a signal, like, oh, they talking about bowl. Let's get the folks over here and put me in the recommended or whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
So,
that's good with this. We
mm-hmm.
definitely got to talk about bowl. Who there's some bowl people to this week? My
Oh,
lord.
yes. All right. So, we had Luna coming off that pardon where her mom actually ran into, once I guess, well, we had that huge face off where her sister Lee last week tried to choke her out, and then she finds out, of course, from Lee that Luna has been staying over at Bill's, and so she hightails it over to Bill's place, only to find out that her daughter's out of prison, that she's a free woman, she's been pardoned. She asked her mom for forgiveness because she need her mother, and her mother is like, I don't want to have anything to do with you. What you
Her
think
mother
about
lost.
that? Girl, go ahead, Bree.
She lost her mind. She was talking about you're an embarrassment. You're a stain in the family. We're ashamed of you. Like, put a mirror to yourself, please,
Mm-hmm.
please. You slept with your sister's son, and you created a child.
Girl, all
And then
projection.
all projection, and then she had the nerve to say, like, "Well, I wanted to be a single mom."
Girl,
What?
be so for real.
Be real, because when she got around Bill, she was like, "Oh, I was in love. Like I always wanted this family. There was no other man besides you, and this. Like I felt so lost. I wanted to be with you, girl." So it was either you were missing Bill, or you really wanted to be a single. But I was so lost with that. But
Mm-hmm.
the fact that her daughter kept it real. She's like, "Look, I know I did my dirt. Look, you did yours too.
Mm-hmm.
Why we might as well be in the thick of it together, because my wrong and your wrong are just as wrongs, and our families don't fool with us. So,
I
tell my
did
mom."
not like that part at all. I mean, last week I wasn't feeling the fact that Steph told Finn to make it his mission to put her behind bars, which he can't do anything with a pardon. Come on, man. Please. Finn can't even stand up to you. What makes you think you're going to stand up to the governor or the president and say put somebody back in jail? Second of all,
And she told him, "I need for you to get on this." Get on what? He's a whole doctor, girl.
right. You know, that and the fact that she's trying to keep him away from, being in Luna's life. And then on the flip side, you got her other parent who don't want to be around her anyway. The girl is back at square one. Maybe even worse. At least beforehand she had a mama. Now your mama don't want nothing to do with you, and your father's wife don't want him to have anything to do with you. Now she got nobody except for Sheila.
Yeah, I just found it really just crazy how even when Luna was talking about, yes, I did this, but can you just own up to the fact that, for one, you slept with your nephew
Mm-hmm.
and you knew that he was a possibility, but you didn't want to say anything to cover up your tracks? And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, don't put this on me. This has nothing to do with me. This is about you, and you need to pay for your crimes. And look, the Foresters, everyone can keep saying that she just paid for her crimes. Bill already was the final boss, and he said, "Look, I'm going to go straight to the president. She's going to get pardoned, and that's it. No one can do anything. No one can overrule that. It is what it is.
Right.
It's done. She's out." And all she was trying to do was like, "Look, you have no place to go," especially since after Lee choked her out and probably kicked her out, because she was staying with Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's fooling with her. The Forcer, Steffy, nobody's going to fool with Poppy. She's like, "Look, we might as well try to go in the thick of it together and try to figure something out." No, you're a stain in the family. Like, you're an embarrassment. Like, put a mirror to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yep. that whole thing, once her mom disowned her and she decided to go over to Il Giardino because she like, well, I got another lifeline who will understand exactly what I'm going through. And it was interesting how Sheila was like, you don't belong here. You killed two people. You need to be in prison. And I'm like, yet you got off on a technicality by your husband, too.
Okay, and the fact that this woman picked up a phone, say, I'm gonna call the police,
Right.
girl. You gonna call the police every time? I remember several scenes with Sheila. Whenever anybody said, "I'm gonna call the police," the look on her face, like, "Please don't. It's a misunderstanding. Please don't do
I
this."
didn't mean to. Yeah.
It just happened. It's not my fault. The fact that this woman had the nerve to say, had to fix her lips to say, like, I'm going to call the police. I was laughing. That was comical to me. Her of all people and all her crimes.
Right. I'm sitting up there looking like at Sheila like, wait a minute. I understand you've been living in your soft girl era, but the reason that you have that type of era right now is because somebody got your butt out of jail too. I mean,
And even he worked his magic with the judge.
exactly. Yep. 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 Did you see what Cheryl said? It's funny how Bill can get Luna pardoned, but Ridge, Eric, and Steffi had to rely on Carter's conscience to get their company back.
Talking about we're going to overrule what the president has done. We're going to overrule. Stop, 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 stop. You guys can't even read contracts.
Thank you. Thank you. But it's going to be interesting to see where Luna and Sheila go from here, though. Because they got one common goal. Both of them want to be in Finn's life.
Yeah, but they know better. It makes me wonder, especially since we know that Miss Jackie is pregnant, what that could mean for as her exit so she can go on maternity leave. I wouldn't mind if Luna and Sheila cook up something to where Steffi gets herself trapped in some place again. I don't know. But it just the way that Luna was just so comfortable going to her grandmother. It's like, hey, we have plenty of things in common. And that Sheila's just back around the bar, like talking about calling the police. Luna is just relaxed. She's just cool, calm, and collective. Like she's not scared of you, by the least bit.
But did you see what that twisted music at the end when Sheila looked into her eyes? I guess maybe there's some type of common darkness they both have that she saw to realize that this girl is being honest about the fact that she's her granddaughter.
Yeah, I think that she's like, ooh, I have somebody I can groom and pass down all of my secrets, all of my connections to. It was just creepy, and then of course she kissed her granddaughter, which is not surprising. She did that with Finn and Mary already, so I guess it's like an initiation or something for Sheila. But the music indicated something's about to go down.
Yeah, something.
They both have the same
dark.
goal. They both have the same goal now, which is to get back in Finn and Hayes' good graces. So something is just, not going to go right with Steffi. I can kind of feel that coming.
Yeah, it's going to, girl, I'm telling you, that is going to be an interesting combination. I can tell you that right now because of the fact that when you got not one but two, yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
And double trouble. You got the old school and the new school.
Yep.
Belinda said Michael Myers and Michael Myers Jr. Okay.
Girl, that is too funny. All right. Moving on from the Luna fiasco, we have now this other stuff brewing with the takeover and now having the company back. So Carter meets with Eric and Ridge, and his conscience is eating him alive. Ridge and Eric, is basically like, look, I know you're better than this. There's still part of our friendship that's left there. You shouldn't have done this. And Carter decides, okay, I'm gonna give you the company back, but you got to keep hope for the future. And they was like, okay, cool. Well, the problem with that is that Steffi, the other co-CEO, was not present for that conversation. But before we get to that part of it, Carter had to break the news to Hope that, he gave the company back to the Forresters. And she was not happy about that. And she said, that's why I loved you, as in past tense.
She did a switch up really quickly.
Girl, because she only was with him for two reasons: the attention, and he had access to power.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I love the fact that he was like, well, in case you didn't notice, I was really struggling with this. And she's like, oh, well, with the coup thing, oh, I know. She didn't care. She brushed it off. And she had to get reassurance that he was still in control. And then when she was told what he did, she lost her mind. And so she didn't care about the man's character, his moral compass, all these things that you would think the Hope character would appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, that's a non-factor. So for her to blow up at the fact that he handed the Forcers their company back,
right,
was comical to me. And then she said, like, oh, I loved you. Mm-hmm. Why did that dry up all of a sudden?
Because he has no power. He's now a colleague more than an owner at this point, because he tore up the LLC papers. Now, I gotta say, because there's a lot of conversation that, just because he tore up the LLC papers, it don't mean anything. Technically, I agree with that, because your LLC is usually filed with the state. So you can tear up all the papers that you want to tear up. And the only way that an LLC can be ended is if you file a certain order to the state that you're in for them to dissolve the business. But obviously they didn't want to go through that process, so they figure there's maybe a lot of people that don't understand how that works. And so, they use that as a symbolic thing to say that it's over. But typically, tearing up LLC papers does not mean that you no longer own the LLC. So.
And plus, he could easily just change his mind. So, like, hey, everything still stands until a new contract is written up.
Right.
And I thought they were going to use, based off of the spoilers, when they said that Carter had a decision he had to make, I thought that he was going to test to see if Ridge and Eric would be loyal to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they weren't going to do that, then be like, okay, well, something told me that everything still stands, everything's still legalized, I'm still in control. I thought it was going to be like that.
Girl, please. There was another spoiler, and I got to mention this comment by Diane DeVille. She says Hope talked to Carter like he was a child when she said, "What did you do?" She sure did. And then even when she was standing up there last week when they was talking to Daphne, she's his mouthpiece. I'm like, dude, can you speak up for yourself?
I think Rich said you don't even wear the crown.
he sure did. But, I mean, she talks to this man like he's a child. And he's just like, but Hope, they say they're going to keep your company. She was like, yeah, but they ain't going to keep me.
And rightfully so.
Well, wait a minute, Bree. She's the same one that says that if that ever happens, she will never work for the Forresters again. So why would you even care, ma'am? You say you never want to work for them again.
Right. Like, she made that very clear.
Yep.
So she was talking all tough to Steffy, to Rich, everyone. She was throwing her chest out and saying, like, there's a new regime, everything's better now under this new leadership, and hope for the future is here to stay, and blah, 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 blah. And now she can't even be woman enough to say, you know what, I was really wrong about this. And we expect this out of Hope. We know. But then for her to act like, oh, you're not going to keep my line, you're not going to keep me after all my contributions and this and this, and like, you don't even want to be there.
Right, you
don't even want
to work there. But then she had me before this whole thing. She talking about we still have the power. There's no we. You don't have the power. Carter owned the LLC, not you.
Right. And she's saying we like it's a marriage.
Girl, they not even married.
Right.
Y'all been dating since what? September? October?
Yeah. And that dried up real quick when she put that loved in past tense.
Girl, So now, after he broke the news to her, they had to be summoned in there. We saw Brooke back. And, I mean, honestly, do you think, because there was a lot of vitriol for Steffy across social media this past
Steffy and the actress, Steffy and Jacqueline.
Okay, so let me, you know what, as, you know, us being content creators, I want to make this perfectly clear on this channel and across my platforms. We do not, how should I say this? We do not agree with, we do not support the attack of any or all of the actors and actresses across all three shows that we discuss. We just don't.
Agreed.
Now, you can say what you want about, you know, the Steffy character, but Jacqueline McInnes Woods, Annika Noel, and any of the other actors and actresses, they are being paid to read a script.
Yeah. It got bad to the point they were talking about this girl's baby and just a lot of just ill will. I did not like that. And talking about her pregnancy, like, it was just, and I'm like, she's just paid to do a role. They're all paid to do a role. They have no control over the scripts. If you're mad, be mad at Brad Bell. Be mad at the writers. Be mad at the direction of the show. That had nothing to do with Jacqueline. That is so stupid and so lame. I don't support that.
I mean, seriously, I've saw some things on, like, some of the Facebook groups. It was out of control. Physically attacking her baby, you know, because, you know, she made an announcement in her blog that she was 7 months pregnant, which goes back, remember Bree, the scene in the cage that everybody was taking a picture of her little belly? Mm-hmm. She probably would have been maybe about, let's see, if she's due in May, she would have been pregnant, conceived in August.
Yeah, August, September.
Right, and those scenes in the cage was in late September. So she had and she's thin. The girl is thin, so probably her pregnancy showed early. So when people was taking all them pictures, when they said, "Oh, look at that budge that we see in the cage," everybody was talking about she was pregnant in. Well, that confirms
everything. I thought it was a food baby.
Mm-hmm.
Or what? Something.
A who baby?
A food baby.
A food baby. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, when you eat too much, sometimes you get that little. You have food babies sometimes, but yeah, and plus they film weeks in advance. So she got pregnant back in August, and that didn't air until the end of September. Yeah, that definitely confirmed it. Mm-hmm. And I think they also were talking about Annika being pregnant too. Mm-hmm. So she hasn't confirmed or denied anything. Mm-hmm. But at least with Jacqueline, you know, she got to have another baby, and congratulations to her. I just felt it was disgusting how people were even talking about her unborn child.
That is insane. that child that she has also belongs to her husband Alon.
Right.
So does he have anything to do with the soaps? No.
No. But just to talk, just to say like ill will things about the actress and her baby is just, that is insane. That is disgusting. I'm like, get a life.
Right. Granted, you might not like the Steffi character. You might not like how she addressed Hope. But get a grip, people. Get out of the
Yeah.
Lulu Island and do not attack the actors and the actresses. And I know that's not, you guys over here. But, there are stragglers that tend to want to come and say things. And for those that know me, since I've had this channel for just about 3 years, I will block you. I have no
Yeah.
problem with disparaging other members of this channel, my panel, any of you guys attacking you. I don't tolerate that over here, so.
Yeah. It's just not cool, guys. We know the Soapies, we do not tolerate that. So we see that on like comments and other,
Mhm.
blogs and stuff like that. That was just insane. I was very upset by that. Like, don't
Mhm.
talk about the baby. The baby got nothing to do with any of this. Baby not even here yet.
Girl, that's crazy to me. Oof. And I could imagine her DMs, but Jacqueline is, she keeps her positivity. She eats well. She works out. She takes care of
Yeah.
her husband, and her family. So she's probably, of course, protecting her mental health. Because I can guarantee you, there's some nutcases that are out there in her DMs.
Oh, I'm sure. But plus, she a mom. She busy. 4 boys. She busy.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't got time to worry about any of that online. But still, it's so disrespectful.
Listen, girl, I hope she get her girl this time. I'm thinking that's maybe.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's maybe why they're going for number 5, or maybe they just want a big family. But I really, truly, in my opinion, doesn't mean it's right. I honestly think that she's trying to. They're both trying to get that girl.
And good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Prayers, and I'm hoping they get their wish. Regardless, me personally, I couldn't have 5 kids. That is a lot. I am not Gumby, but congratulations to her. Hope they do get a girl though.
Here's the other thing. Her snapback. That girl got a body on her. You would never think she had 5 kids. Well, 4, almost 5, come out of that body.
Sheesh, my goodness, I couldn't do that. Oof, but good for her. And plus, so she to have her baby, she do her snapback, and then she's back in the bikini
Mm-hmm.
and working the runway on the show. Like good for her,
Yep.
and for her family. I really do hope it's a girl.
You know what? I noticed this week in the episodes that she started covering her belly with her purse, because I was paying attention now. When she made that announcement, I'm like, let me see. And sure enough, they had her in certain positions where either she wore black baggy stuff, or she had something like the paperwork that she had in her hand cover up her stomach. So,
Actually, remember that dress that she had on for Finn and for their anniversary?
mm-hmm.
When Finn and Steffy had their anniversary? I think there was a bump there, but I was wondering like why she was wearing something like that. Because typically Steffi wears something very sleeky, sexy, this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then she had on that long for. I was like, okay, the new direction. But
Yeah.
hey, she confirmed it.
Yep, she confirmed it. However, let's switch back to Steffi. Steffi read both Carter and Hope for filth. And what was so funny that some people were also talking about on social media in the actual conversations that was real, was the fact when Carter said, we had a deal. And she was like, a deal coming from the same person that deceived us? Right. Okay. You
Yeah.
think I'm gonna hold to that? You want me to hold to a deal with you when I couldn't even trust? Because she still technically don't trust Carter either.
Which is why I'm like, why did they give this man a chance?
Mm-hmm.
Fire him. I
Mm-hmm.
personally would have done that. I would never, for one, You broke my trust when you took my company from me. You deceived me. I trust you to do a job, and they're giving this man back the position again
Mm-hmm.
for it to happen again. No. He would not be COO. He would not be my attorney. Like, no, you gonna get to the mail room, the janitor's closet. You gonna work your way up. You gonna
Mm-hmm.
work for the intern, something. But, or better yet, fire him, which is
Mm-hmm.
what he deserved, in my opinion. I don't think that he deserved a second chance.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they even gave Brooke her props too. You know, she got the belief formula, the bedroom line, and all of that. So of course, you know, Steffi was more than gracious to keep her on. You know, granted, because I mean, honestly, she followed along with this thing, claiming that she was going to keep an eye on things, but obviously there was some sort of allegiance with her daughter. There's parts of her that was in between, but they let her, you know, obviously they give her the position back. But those other two,
Yeah.
and then when Carter tried to come to Hope's defense, she pretty much told him, look, you got your two positions back, COO and lead counsel. I wouldn't talk too much, so you need to shut up.
For real.
He
Like
shut up too.
the way that she handled Carter was correct. I'm like, why is he talking in the first place? Why are you saying anything?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we had an agreement. We had a deal. We also had trust in you. We also had faith that you were going to do your job correctly. That you weren't going to backstab us. That you weren't going to take our company away from me. Um, we had high hopes for you too, but you see how things change.
Right.
So therefore, be happy you're employed and not at unemployment, or better yet, disbarred.
Exactly.
Which is what I would have done. I think Ron Julian said that too. He'd either be fired and disbarred.
He even realizes that his actions when he was talking to Hope, that it could put him in a position that he could be disbarred.
Yes. And he
Mm-hmm.
still felt that she was worth. I'm like, come on.
Girl,
Tacky for the future was worth all of this?
girl, I guess the box was that good, huh?
No comment.
Mm-hmm. Then she turns around when they got ready to leave and said, pretty much tell him, we stick together, let's go. And they told him, you leave up out of here with Hope, it's over.
Right. And he would be a fool to walk out with Hope, especially now. I'm really upset with the fact that they gave this man numerous of chances,
Mm-hmm.
only for him to throw it in their faces. And at the end result, they still give this man a job?
Right.
That is insane to me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Insane.
They're all three of them, Steffi included, are loony for that. But the way that she handled him was good. The way that she handled Brooke, I understand to a degree. She really wasn't part of this, but
Mm-hmm.
she did go along with this, and she wasn't standing in solidarity with the Foresters. I get that. That's as far as her fault goes, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But Hope, the way that she got Hope together.
Girl, wait a minute. Then Hope tried to clap back too, talking about Stephanie, and Eric was like, hey, no, let's not go there.
And I'm like, Steffi's not even here.
Stephanie
The fact
can't
that you
even.
brought up that girl's,
Go ahead.
but the fact that she brought up that girl's grandmother.
Right. And then she came for Ridge talking about how he treated her mom. Excuse me, Hope. Your mom kept signing up for that. Even to this day, she's begging this man to get back with her.
Right. And once again, what does one have to do with the other? What does it have to do with the job position?
Right.
Once again, she bringing up pointless arguments, and the fact that she had no remorse when it came to taking the company away from Eric. She brought up Stephanie, and she said, Rick and Bridget are your children. Why would I do that to you guys? And plus, you were my stepfather for years. I'm like, no. Actually, no. Ridge was more of your stepfather than Eric was. Brooke and Eric had dissolved their marriage for decades before you were born.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand why she even brought that part up. But just the fact that she brought up Stephanie to validate her point, no. And it proves Steffi correct about her being moralless and I forget what else other stuff, but she got that girl together. Empty, a shell of herself, the whole 9.
Mm-hmm.
It was all correct.
Yep. Ugly. That promo for next week is interesting, especially with Hope trying to hold her. I mean, with Brooke trying to hold her own daughter accountable.
Oh, I cannot wait for that scene.
I can't wait to see that scene, girl.
I'm like, what is leading up to that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what would make me happy is if she actually kicks her daughter out.
I don't know. We'll see, because they were in tears, both of them.
And you know what? I think there's going to come to a point that she knows that Ridge is not going to go back to Brooke's house unless Hope leaves. I think she's going to kick her daughter out. I think she's going to read her the riot act, and then she's going to kick her out, it's about time. Get her out of her front yard.
I'm wondering, would her, just say that happens, would Ridge go running back to Brooke? Because that was the reason why he left in the first place.
You know, it makes things, it gives Brooke more the advantage, because we know that he wants to get back together with her. Mm-hmm. And now that he has his company back, he doesn't have a real reason to gripe and be angry anymore.
True.
Because Carter came to his senses, allegedly. But if she kicks her daughter out and she reads her the riot act, that would kind of warm Ridge back over to her.
Gotcha.
Because there's a reason why Ridge and Taylor haven't left Eric GCAC. Otherwise, they would have had a place already.
Right.
It makes no sense how RJ is not on the show anymore. They had that beach house, and nobody's living in it. And for whatever reason, whatever excuse that they made, they said they can't go back to it. So they're still sitting at Eric's GCAC, but why? Unless they're setting up for Rich to go back to Brooke.
Right.
And if next week is an indicator that that's going to happen, then I can see him going back that direction, as long as Hope gets kicked out.
Yeah, well, we will see, but that promo is looking real good next week, so I'm looking forward to it. I gotta say, we had another bad spoiler this week where on Tuesday they said Ridge and Eric was going to find out something so shocking. That never happened.
Right. I'm so lost on that part.
About they're going to find out something so shocking about the company. And I'm like, let me make sure. I want to read that correctly. Because I remember, and I was like, dang, what happened? I even put it in my spoilers video. Yeah, Eric and Ridge stumble upon a revelation so shocking it could change the foundation of Forrester. There was nothing on Tuesday's episode about that.
Right.
They need to stop with that. If y'all trying to get people to watch, just do your job and let the actors play it all out. Or if you're going to give a spoiler, at least make it legit. I know sometimes spoilers can be upplayed or downplayed, but that never happened.
Unless the shocking part, which really isn't shocking, is the fact that Steffi doesn't want to go along with their plan to keep Hope. That would be the only shocking thing I can think of, but even still, they know better. So, yeah, the spoilers be lying all the time.
Well, the Steffi spoiler on Tuesday was Steffi doesn't trust Carter motives, which she didn't want him back. So I get that part. But the other part, what revelation? There was none. So, y'all need... Bold is notorious for that. Notorious. Yeah. All right. We are moving on because we got to... What did you think about BTG these past 3 days?
I'm so annoyed with Danny. This woman broke it. First of all, First of all, the security guard already caught her going up to the place.
Mm-hmm.
She knew the code still, so I'm like, Bill, you're a high-powered attorney. You don't change your codes. You're that comfortable within the gates, but okay. And she knows the code, so she can break it at any time. That's foolish. But she got in, drinking $1 million bottle, passing out drunk. Then she had to call her friend. I need you to replace this bottle. I need you to help me replace this picture. Do this, do that. Pamela better than me. I would not be doing anything. I'm not spending $1 million on a wine bottle because you're foolish enough to still be worried about your ex to this degree.
Right.
And you're just passing out drunk. I think they're setting up the fact that Danny's going to have a drinking habit. And she's just downing bottles of wine and vodka and everything. But what does this man have in between his pants that you are so hooked on and you can't get over and that Andre can't cure you from?
Yeah, I just don't. It's one thing you're gonna be mad, but now you're going down this rabbit hole. Your family ain't paying attention, and she's just drinking herself to death all over this guy, and it's just like, can we do something different? I don't know. I was this week. I didn't like that part.
Yeah. First of all, $1 million wine bottle, I would not, first, that's a waste of money, me personally.
Mm-hmm.
But, so $2 million just gone out the window, basically.
Right.
Because Haley knew all the little nooks and crannies. She's like, oh, my picture wasn't where it was. There was a whole engraving on the wine bottle. I know this is Danny. And the fact that that girl went over to Danny's house, I wouldn't be the least bit threatened by Haley. This is why I call her the bride of Chucky. The way that she moves.
Girl, you crazy. You said the bride of Chucky.
Yes, because look, Bill is Chucky. He evil as all hell. I'm sorry. He just is. And she loves being that bride. She's still in her bride mode still. She's the child bride. She's the bride of Chucky. But she went over there, broke the vase, and she's like, I'm going to put a restraining order on you if you don't stop. I'm like, girl, the same woman who put a gun to your face.
Right.
Seriously.
Girl.
You think that's going to threaten her? You could have said that on a phone call.
Right.
You really could.
Mm-hmm. Girl, that whole thing is, I don't know. I just hate to see her going down this whole rabbit hole. And the fact that they are writing this way. I kind of wish, just find her somebody new, different, get her to move on instead of her spiraling this way.
You know, she needs someone that's equal to or greater than Bill. Because, not to say that Andre doesn't do it. I think Andre, he's just a photographer. He has a little money in his bank account, so he's not a broke man whatsoever. He's a good-looking man, but clearly, whatever he's doing to her is not enough for her to get over that 30-year marriage.
Well, it's just a filler. It's just, something to make her feel good in the moment. That's the problem.
Yeah, but in order for her to be swoon, she needs somebody who's kind of just like Bill, who's kind of similar, or has that same elitist mentality. Because clearly she's attracted to that. Clearly she likes that. There's a reason why she's going so hard to try to get with this man. So if they don't find someone who's equal to or greater than Bill, then go ahead and put her back with Bill, because Bill wants her too.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. He enjoy playing cat and mouse with her too. Hey, Keisha girl. He enjoyed playing cat and mouse with her too, which is why, Haley is feeling some kind of way. I mean, even when she went over to the country club, everybody's ignoring her. I don't feel sorry for her because you signed up for this.
Right. Oh, girl, you could have been anywhere else.
Hi.
Hey, girl. What, you got something to say?
No, I just wanted to listen.
Oh, okay.
I'm driving, so I don't want the background noise to be disruptive.
I don't even hear anything. So if you want to say something, girl.
Oh, okay. I'm listening for now. You go ahead and finish, Bree.
Okay. I did not feel sorry for Haley too. I'm like, girl, that man gave you an unlimited credit card. You could have went anywhere else. You just have to feel like you deserve the validation within their country club. That's a Dupree country club. They built everything in there. Of course, they're going. All the employees, everyone's going to side with them. You chose to be there. You chose to be behind those gated communities. This is what's going to come with it when you sleep with somebody else's husband, and that somebody happens to be a Dupree woman. What were you expecting? And then she had the nerve to fix and say, like, I figured since I was married to you, Bill, I would get the respect and the courtesy, but they just embarrassed me. The Duprees embarrassed me. No, ma'am.
No, she thought that Bill had that much clout.
Clearly not.
Would you say clearly not?
No. And like, she could have went elsewhere. She did not have to go there. Better yet, you got money, or you could have hired a private chef. You could have cooked your own food. But no. She just wants people. Same way I think someone said that Danny has a pity party for herself. So does Haley too. She forever wants to complain. She's been complaining since she's been married to this man.
Well, that's what she get though. I mean, what does she expect? You dealing with somebody, you know, like you said, they own that property, and you want to stay there in the midst of all of that. You're going to get the backlash from it.
They own the property. They built within that community, all the houses, everything. And you're choosing to stay within that community. You have to be there. There's other $1 million mansions you can get yourself into, but you chose otherwise. And this is what you get. Now wait till he cheats on you.
Oh, yeah, because it's definitely coming, especially if he end up sleeping with Danny.
And I'm hoping... I just want Danny and Bill to go ahead and just be together, because he chooses to get himself involved with Danny and Dupree's. He always finds a little bit of something. He even asks, like, Haley, why won't you let me retaliate? But see, you just proven that girl's point.
Exactly.
That's why I feel like Bill chose to marry Haley. I feel like he did that to hurt Danny. Like, I'm not saying that he doesn't care about Haley. I think that he does, but I think he specifically chose her, somebody that was close to Danny, to marry because he knew how much it would hurt her. In addition to moving into their community, like he's doing all of that mess on purpose. I feel like, because why else would you move into your ex's neighborhood with your new woman?
Right. Yeah, that's weird, you know, and they keep playing this whole toxic game with each other. But my thing is, he want to hurt Danny for what? Did she do something to him? Where's this coming from that he's trying to stick it to her by dealing with this girl? What do you think?
That's what we were talking about earlier this week. We were saying we need some more flashbacks or something at some point to let us know, like, where all this thing came from with Bill and Danny and the Duprees, because I think he hates the whole family.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I think? I think I said this in the group chat. I think that she cheated on him, and I think it's that classic thing where you can bishop it, you can't take it. She was perfect. She was okay with keeping her head down and allowed this man to cheat. And I think maybe to a boiling point that she cheated, and he couldn't handle that. So then that's probably when he got with Haley. That's what I'm assuming. And why he would have this disdain to want to get back at this girl and at her family too. Something's just not right. And I want there to be flashback scenes between Bill and Danny, but also Bill and Haley. Because I want to see what led up to them getting together and for her to backstab her friend.
Gotcha. Yeah, something like you guys said, something has to be a backstory. We need more information to go on. Because obviously there are other secrets that he's keeping over Vernon head. Does probably, remember, got something to do with Martin?
That man lives on secrets.
Yep.
Yes.
If you notice, he's spoken a lot about how so and so owes him this, so and so owes him that. Like the helicopter ride that he was able to get when they came back from their honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Oh yeah, so and so owed me a favor." That's how he gets what he wants.
Well, somebody, I saw this on Facebook the other day. Somebody said that he's moving like Victor.
I don't know about that yet. I would say more Bill Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
He moves like him, because with Victor, that's a whole other level. And even Danny said she's more scared of her mother than she is Bill.
Mm.
So I feel like maybe Anita might be more like Victor, but only time will tell.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he made it a big deal to Vernon that he has whatever is about Martin over their heads. So why is he moving so hard to try to retaliate, try to get something on Danny or try to pin something if he has that nuke that can blow everything up?
Yeah. It depends
that
on how
made
they...
no sense.
Yeah, it depends on how they writing this, you know what I mean? So, I guess we have to see. The other thing that we had going on this week is this thing with Kat and Eva and Leslie and... What y'all got on that?
So Miss Sherry Carter, she's probably a distant cousin to Sheila at this stage.
Mm-hmm.
This woman is not Eva's mother. She's not.
Who do you don't think that's Eva's mother?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I honestly feel that she is Ted's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But Leslie is not the mother by any means, by any stretch. There's just I feel like she's just using that girl as a pawn or as a come up to some degree, because she was already receiving money from Ted because of that girl.
Mm-hmm.
And then when all that money had dried up, and then when Alan had passed, then all of a sudden, within a short time span, she wants to go right back over to Ted because she knows he's the cash cow. Because she don't seem the least bit sad about losing her husband.
No.
So that was an indicator to me that maybe she didn't have feel like she likes to play with chess pieces. Because she's trying to be she's very calculated, and I think when it comes to Eva, she's very calculated about the things that she says to her quote-unquote daughter and how she wants her to move and how she wants her to act. Like, she's very careful with how she does things. And I'm like, there's not a nurturing bone in that woman's body.
Mm. Is that where the whole conversation keep coming up about the fact that maybe Eva is actually Nicole's daughter?
That's what I'm thinking. And like I said, this is my prediction, my theory. And because I feel that Kat is a fraternal twin, because even in the promos, even in like the stuff on their website and the IGs about Kat, they keep marking her as a miracle baby. Like, why is she a miracle baby?
Wow.
I feel, and especially since there was like something about Nicole saying that both Eva and Kat had the same dress size, same body type, same everything, and I'm like, okay, that's where that kind of stemmed from. So I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. I think there's something to why they put that in the writing. And plus, if you look at both of the girls, they kind of a little bit similar to each other. So if they wanted to pass them off as fraternal twins, I can see them doing that. But only time will tell with that. But I know for sure in my bones, Leslie is not that girl's mother.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole thing is, and I mean, she's so busy trying to set this whole thing in motion, and look like Eva is like, listen, I'm kind of warming up to Ted and Nicole. I ain't trying to do all this sabotaging that you trying to get me to do.
Thank you, Cheryl. Yeah, Cheryl even thinks the same thing too.
Mm-hmm.
She thinks Nicole is Eva's mother. Belinda said Leslie's definitely not Eva's mother. So I know I wasn't going crazy. It's just something about the way that Eva and Nicole interact is so motherly, so nurturing, and pleasant to see. And everything that you see with Eva and Leslie is so chaotic. It's like they're business partners trying to make things work. It's kind of like
it's kind of cold. It's not a connection there, right, Bree?
Yeah.
I agree. What did y'all think about Eva trying to get up under Tomas?
I didn't mind it.
Oh, really, Keish?
Yeah, I mean, they don't like each other. First of all, her and Kat already don't like each other. She don't owe her anything. Tomas and Kat aren't a couple. Like they just started hanging out. You know, they've been on a date, or maybe 2 dates, or has it just been one?
I think it's she had the dinner at the house.
Yeah,
which I got a lot of thoughts about, but yeah.
So to me, I didn't. That's like the good, you know, soapy kind of drama right there. Somebody trying to move in on a man that they see their nemesis is clearly interested in. So let me move on over here and put my 2 cents in and see if he takes the bait with me.
Like two sisters.
I didn't have a problem with it at all.
Yeah, but what do you think about Tomas? Is he going to take the bite? Because she was willing to do the opposite of what Kat wants to do.
I could see it. I can see him maybe resisting Eva at first, and then, but you know, since Kat is a virgin, I can see something happening to where he's like, he just gets caught up in the moment with Eva, and he goes ahead and he does it because, you know, Kat isn't ready.
Yeah,
I can see something like that possibly happening.
Yeah, because she was laying it on thick. Eva was laying it on thick.
She was.
I don't mind if he's a fine man.
He is. Oh man, he is very handsome.
Yeah,
he reminds me of somebody, and I cannot put my finger on it. Another actor. Yeah.
And a different soap.
Just another actor in general, not necessarily a soap actor.
Here's the other thing. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I was trying to think of the actor who Abby was engaged to on YNR.
Arturo? The Arturo guy?
Yes. Could you imagine him on this show? Oh, goodness.
I loved him. Him and Ray both.
Yep.
Very handsome.
What about now how the women that work at Bill's company want what's the girl name? The daughter, Bill's daughter. Naomi to sue her daddy's company. And they pretty much said, well, one of the reasons is because we think you hate your daddy because of what he did with your mama. I'm like, how you going to use that as a way to get back at this man? But anyway.
Motivation. Like I honestly, that was being honest. I mean, they're being upfront about it instead of being fake about it. I respect that. But I felt for all of those women, that was just disgusting. And that man happens to be Bill's best friend. I'm just the fact that girl lost her promotion and the person who got it would be Haley, of course. So to me, Haley didn't really even qualify for it. So I'm really hoping I feel Naomi's going to take the case, and I really hope she does win, because that is disgusting, and I understand it happens sometimes in workplaces. I do get that. So I think this is a really good storyline, and they picked the right person to go after her father.
Well, let's see if she had the same energy she had for Jacob when she was supposed to go after. He was supposed to go after her mother.
Poor Jacob's last chance. I feel so bad for
Yeah, cause she was pissed when this man was doing his job, and Bill told him, I'm gonna need you to or have her under arrest, and she was mad. Now on the flip side, you gonna have to go sue your father.
Yeah, but at the same time, we saw a great scene with Naomi and Bill. She told him off, talking about like you mean nothing to me, this, and this. You treated my family like crap. Like, if she brings that energy, I think she can own that man. I think she can handle that man in court. Because I think the girls have touched on the fact that her and Bill used to practice cases and how to do interrogations and stuff like that. So I think I think we're going to get that interaction. But I'm disappointed we haven't gotten a Naomi and Haley interaction yet.
Mm-hmm. You would think that would be a big one, right?
Maybe with this storyline, it'll lead us to it. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think Haley's going to like the fact that Naomi's going after her father's company. Because that's going after Haley's money, too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to hopefully, keep my fingers crossed, we get some interactions there.
Yep, I agree. We'll see. Yeah, I'm trying to think. So the biggest thing this week was the Danny storyline with the drinking, the honeymoon. Ashley and Derek, because Andre tried to kiss her and she was like, oh no. Do you think she eventually is going to give in?
Yeah, I'm just ready for them to get to it, to be honest. Like, I feel like they're still trying to both Ashley and Andre and both Ashley and Derek. I feel like I'm missing a little bit of the chemistry. I feel like, I don't know, something's just not melting right. In comparison to what we've seen with Andre and Danny, it's like night and day when we see Ashley and Derek together, and even Ashley and Andre together. Like there's that spark, that spice, that, something. So maybe later down the line.
Yeah.
But they might as well. I mean, even Derek senses it. He was like, hey, he was already, daydreaming about Ashley and Andre together or something.
Mm-hmm.
So we know it's coming. They just need to kind of just get to it.
Yeah, so... Yeah, that's the thing about this being a new soap, and we only had 3 days this week. I mean, I guess we got a little bit of something this week. I was hoping, well, I guess we just have to look forward to what's going on next week with the show. But yeah. I think, like you were saying yesterday, it was a little bit of a filler episode.
Yeah. Especially the way they ended. I'm like,
right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
I'm like, Eva could have lied to her mother.
Right.
And said that Ted and Nicole had plans to go out of the country or something like that.
Right. Instead of talking to them, because they was just going to go walk to a baseball game or something. And
which I thought was cute.
Yeah, that was cute. It was all right, girl. So.
And my man, he looked good. He looks good every episode.
Oh, Lord. Ted, you claiming Ted, too. I forgot about that.
I love Ted, too. That's the only thing.
Oh, you gave up the other ones? Nate and...
Well, I've been and gave up Carter. Nate, I haven't really thought of him for a while. When I saw Ted, it was over. That is a gorgeous looking man. He looked good in all of his outfits, especially that cream against his skin. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pictures online, ladies, I don't know if you have seen this man online. His shirtless, this man is in impeccable shape.
Interesting. I have to go check that out.
Please take a gander. It's worth it. All of them.
Oh, man. All right. Did we have anything else on this one? I don't think so.
No, I'm looking at the picture. We had that week training day montage
Right.
right there with
Mm-hmm.
Jacob and whoever that
Yeah, I don't
is.
understand where that's going. I guess we got to get a little bit more with that situation, but yeah.
That was a to be version of Training Day that we didn't need.
Yeah.
And then at the top we had the kids. Martin's son. I think Martin's son is getting bullied. And he's not saying anything about it. But yeah, I think we covered everything else.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's go ahead to our segments. Flip the script. Who's taking several seed star of the week? Pickle and Simp Olympics. So for Young and the Restless, flip the script.
What could we flip? I would flip and actually I would have had Phyllis and Sharon say where they were at, and that Nick and Billy didn't find them and they were still on a wild goose chase, because I feel like we need more as to this storyline with Martin.
Okay.
I feel like they found him awfully quick, and then Martin still is on the loose, and it's just kind of this off for me.
I agree. Okay. Did you want to flip something, Keish? She might still.
I think she said she'll be right back.
Oh, okay, got you. I kind of touched on this earlier. I would have rather had Claire or somebody need to set some boundaries with this situation. I get the, y'all talk about kids and stuff, but why are we going on lunch dates? So she needs to speak up for herself. All right.
That's Black Ink being my man. Ted is my man.
She said, "Yo, man, wait a minute now."
Yeah, yes.
That's funny. Okay, what you flipping on bold?
I wish Bill had showed up to his house and kicked both of these women out. Why are they having a full-on discussion in this house and he's not there?
Yeah, I'm like, where is Bill? Y'all doing all this talking. My flip would have been, I understand they want to give his job back, that they should have at least put Carter on probation or something.
Right. Fire him, disbar him.
I mean, this is you rehiring the man back, giving him full control of his old position after he did something, with the lack of integrity, illegally, antitrust. And y'all like, oh, well, we'll give you your job back. Cool. Welcome back. Nah, you need to be on probation. Kind of Steffy is still having some doubts because he was part of it.
Exactly.
You said your flip, right? Yeah. Bill's house.
Mm-hmm.
Is Keish back? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Your flip for BTG.
My flip would have been Bill and Haley actually catching Danny and Pamela in their house.
Yeah. She need an intervention or something at this point.
And you know what? Her sister's unreliable. She a whole psychiatrist, and she can't pick up on what's going on with her sister.
We said the same thing about Taylor too, so.
They got the same degree.
Yeah. Exactly. My flip on that would have been it was something that came to mind. Oh, I forgot just that fast. Oh, I mean, with the whole court thing, that's a conflict of interest. She's too close to this. All the other, all his attorney have to do is say, you know what, this is a conflict of interest. How is the daughter being able to bring litigation against the father? So, I mean, right there would throw that whole thing out the door. That wouldn't be in the benefits of her client. She's too close.
That's a good point.
Yeah. All right. Who taking seats on the Young and the Restless?
Martin for what he's about to do to Tracy.
I agree with that. And Summer. Yep.
Yeah, I'll give it to her.
What about on Bold? Poppy?
Right.
How you going?
Oh,
You part of this whole problem in so many. Yes, she killed 2 people and whatnot. But this whole thing probably could have been negated if you just figured out a long time ago who this girl daddy was.
yeah. And mine would be Hope and Carter for catching the attitude, especially Carter, especially since he got both of his jobs back. And Daphne's dress.
Oh, girl, you crazy.
I meant to say that earlier, but I'm looking at the picture now. I'm like, no.
Mm-hmm. All right. Taking seats on BTG.
Danny's going to need to sit with a real therapist or a rehab clinic or something other than what she's doing.
I agree. I really, truly agree. I would say Haley, because I mean, I don't know what she expected. She expected to be married to this man and think that she got access to keys of the kingdom. Girl, you was sitting at that table by yourself.
Yeah.
So get used to it, especially on their property where they run the place. You actually think they're gonna welcome you with open arms? Nope.
They didn't even get that girl water.
I know. They act like she didn't exist.
And water is free. They didn't even care to get this girl free water.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. All right. Star of the week. YNR.
I'm gonna give it to the actress who plays Tracy.
Yeah.
Actually, both Tracy and Alan, the actors who played them both.
So, Christopher Cousins and Beth Maitland.
Yes.
Gotcha.
That was a great scene.
I agree with you on that one. Because he was so sweet and adorable and all the little blood poem, and then he turned dark. You got to know how to switch your energy like that when you're acting. So I give it to him. We probably unanimous on Star of the Week for Bold, which we'll give it to both Annika and Jacqueline.
Oh yes. Oh, that was a beautiful scene. That whole episode was hers.
I agree. And then what about BTG Star of the Week?
I'm gonna give it to. I'm gonna give it to the twins. I'm gonna give it to both Kat and Eva.
Yeah, Kat is playing her role well.
Yes,
I mean, yeah, she's playing the spoiled daughter, and I'm gonna give it to Eva because she's definitely being slick. They don't have. I mean, she playing Nicole like a fiddle.
Yep.
Like a fiddle. Crazy. All right, and then Pickle, Young and the Restless. Summer.
Yeah.
She get on my nerves. Yep. Pickle, Bold.
I'm going to do something different. I'm going to give it to both Rich and Eric. For the simple fact that they really wanted, all they focused on was getting their company back and completely disregarded the man they want to hire back took their company. But you're going to give him a top level position still and also let this man be your legal counselor? Really?
Right. Exactly. BTG Pickle.
Danny.
Yeah, I mean, she is wilding out over this man. I mean, so much so, drinking herself to death. Ooh, Lord. She needs some help.
Yeah, I mean, tossing the entire bottle back, no food, no nothing, and you just passing out. And then she got on my nerves when she told Pamela, after Pamela got all the stuff together, it's like, okay, I'm going to take a nap. A nap for what?
Exactly. You've been sleeping on the floor all night.
Right.
Girl.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. She She deserves her pickle.
All right. And then our Simp Olympics. Who got it this week across all three? I can't think of anybody.
I was gonna say Pamela.
Pamela?
Because she did spend $1 million on a wine bottle for her friend.
Oh. Well, she did that to replace it. Because the girl...
Exactly.
Yeah.
That could have sat in her bank account.
Yeah, well, that's true. I don't know if Danny was paying her back, but yeah, I can't even think of nothing. Nick pretty much told what you call it, no. Sharon. So, I mean, unless you want. I guess she's still.
I was gonna say Keish put her simps, which is Ridge and Eric, is that they're gonna let Carter and Hope both come back. I gave them the pickle, Keish. Because I'm like, that was a sour note and it made absolutely no sense. So they're both pickles and they're simps.
Mm-hmm. All right. Oh, Belinda Hill said the security guard is simp of the week for her.
Oh, right. That is a good point. Because he could have alerted a lot of things. He wasn't even on his job properly.
Because he was trying to be cool with Danny. Yep, so. All right, you guys, we're going to end it there. Have an amazing weekend. I wanted to jump on early to, have some conversation with you guys, especially since we didn't have any soaps today. The basketball games, if you are a fan, they are amazing. Upsets, brackets being broken, all that good stuff. If you're not, stay tuned for the spoilers for the week of the 24th through the 27th. Again, I said this in February, I said in January. Months are flying by. Here we go again. It's almost April.
I know. My birthday is almost come and gone already.
Yeah, and everybody, before you go, wish Bree happy birthday. Her birthday is today. Happy birthday, Bree. Enjoy your day, your weekend, and any other things you got going on. Okay?
Yes, I'm going to try to have some fun this weekend. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Soapies. And yes, Black Peak, me, we can share, Ted. That's fine.
Oh, my gosh. That's funny. All right, you guys. We will chat with you later. Bye, Soapies.
Bye, everybody.